Hi, Clutter Fairy fans. Welcome to the Clutter Fairy Weekly for July 28th, 2020. I'm your co-host, Ed Gumnick, and I'm speaking with Gail Goddard, professional organizer and owner of the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas.
Hi, everybody. So glad you joined us today. The Clutter Fairy Weekly is our every week podcast and webcast about all things organizing, and we're going to talk about the topics that you find interesting and make comments about. We really appreciate that you make those comments on all of our channels.
If you're joining us in the Zoom meeting for the first time, you can share your comments and questions via the chat, and I'll try to make sure Gail gets to them before we move on. You can also use the raise hand feature in Zoom to let me know that you'd like to ask a question or make a comment yourself via audio or video, and I will unmute you and allow your video. We're streaming the webcast live on Facebook as well, so you can share your questions and comments there, and I'll relay them to Gail. And during the webcast each Tuesday, you can talk to us directly by calling 669-900-6833. Use meeting ID 993-419-863 to join the meeting. Okay, Gail, let's get to our featured topic. Are you a bargain hunter? Are you on the lookout for coupons, groupons, rebates, specials, or the deal of the day? We have some shocking news. A bargain is only a bargain if you need what you're buying. Our topic today is the allure of the sale, coupon clipping and bargain hunting.
Bargain hunting is a really popular pastime, and we love to shop, but we really love to get a deal. There's a thrill to feeling like you got something great for the lowest price possible. Bargain hunting is a big part of the reason that I have a job as an organizer. Many people shop without considering the consequences. We might get a deal on our bargain hunts, but even the best price can be a stretch for our budgets. And a bargain price often persuades us to compromise on the quality and to clutter our spaces with items that we don't want or need until someone convinced us that we had to have them. How many times have you gone into the store and come out with 13 things that you had no intention of buying when you got in there? Every store uses tricks designed to appeal to the bargain hunter side of you. Very elegant displays. There's always music in the background. There's scents, like they have all the candles out, or they have who knows things piping into the air. There's lots of time-limited buy one get one free or 35% off signs. Retailers cultivate a sense of urgency by offering time-limited sales, but they just want you to make the purchase whether you need it or not. Some people justify their over-purchasing by saying, I'll use the excess later when I run out. I usually find that those people never actually run out because they're constantly buying the deal and accumulating new stock way faster than what they use at home, what they have at home, and they never use it up. So they have an ever-growing, never-thinning stockpile taking up more space. Did you ever watch the Extreme Couponing show on TLC? It was on for a little while, and it was a very insane show to watch, fascinating. It profiled people who used a combination of coupons and store specials to get hundreds of dollars worth of groceries for a few dollars. It's amazing to watch someone at a checkout line with a $1,200 food tab, and they present enough coupons so that they pay $6.98 at the end. It was a very fascinating show. So part of the show is devoted to examining the person's stockpile of groceries, which often takes up an entire room of the house. They would often have, like, here's the basement, and the basement would have shelves in it, and it would be the ultimate collection of all the grocery stuff. Or they would have taken over one of the bedrooms, or they would be storing food under all of the beds. They accumulate a huge amount of free food, which is really, really impressive, but each of us defines our own line between having enough and having too much, and extreme couponers have crossed that line and left it really far behind. Extreme couponing is a prime example of bargain hunting for the sake of the so-called savings without weighing the effect the practice might have on your life and your space. They'll tell you, I only buy things that my family will use. It satisfies an ancient hunter-gatherer impulse in us to build a huge inventory against future need. But if coupon shoppers buy more than they can use before the products have expired or begun to deteriorate, they end up throwing away their savings. Also, the stockpiles often include multiple brands of the same item, which means that to realize the savings of the stockpile, you have to be willing to shift among brands to use everything you've accumulated. instead of using your own favorite brand, which would make me crazy, frankly. If saving a little money really worth compromising on the taste of the food that you serve your family or the quality of the toiletries and cleaning products? Some people will, shampoo comes to mind. Some people think of shampoo as interchangeable, and other people think, no, when I use this one, it dries out my hair, and when I use this one, I have to have a moisturizer, and when I use this one, there's difference in quality and result. And so an extreme couponer will use whatever shampoo comes to mind, whatever one is on the shelf, and they don't care. And so if you are stockpiling to get a bargain, you'll end up using stuff that you may not favor or like.
And another point about that is often coupons are targeted at the very processed, high markup items. They're brands of cereal that have a ton of sugar. They're very expensive. They're tied into, the ones that are tied into cartoon brands and things like that.
Yeah.
Or a highly processed frozen dinners,
Packaged food,
packaged dinners and things like that are already much more expensive than the raw materials that go into them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can compromise, they can bargain a little with you with the coupon because they're already charging so much over what it would cost you to make the thing from scratch.
There's already a lot of profit baked into the pricing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. To get at a real cost versus benefit analysis on the bargains, speaking of, we have to explore all the choices involved as we try to justify bargain shopping. The first choice is about how you want to spend your time. So people that coupon may spend 40 hours a week to get those hundreds of dollars in savings. The people that were on the television show, it was clearly a full-time job for them to find all the coupons, find multiples of all the coupons, organize them by category and type. They invested a huge amount of time in order to be able to go and have their $1,200 paid for by $6.50. Is it really worth 40 hours a week of your time to get that big coupon score at the checkout counter? If your family's having financial issues and you have the time available, it might be, but what about the next choice? Buying supplies faster than you can use them means surrendering a growing amount of space in your house. At some point, storing your bargains affects your quality of life by reducing your livable space. Some people effectively organize the stash, but the typical shopper leaves the haul lying around everywhere. I spent a lot of time unpacking shopping bags left around the house. If it's a bargain that never gets used, how is your family realizing any savings? It looks like a lot of wasted money in a bag to me. And I find them in the oddest places. I find those bags with, I went to the store, I bought the thing, and I brought it home and I put it on the floor in the closet. I put it on the floor in the pantry. I put it in the floor on the hallway. I lined them up against the wall. There's little parking spaces for shopping trips that I find in people's houses, and invariably they get covered up, and no, they don't remember that it's there. They've forgotten what they bought, and by the time I go unearth it, it's 2 years later. I have dug out some really, really old shopping trips, and then somebody's looking at it and going, oh, I don't want that, and they're paying me money to take away what they had to have at the store for a bargain price. And if you're spending money on me, it's just amazing to me how often I get paid to take things away because the bargain is no longer seen as useful. Somehow sitting it on the floor transforms the item from bargain to junk. The bargain shoppers succumb to the lure of the deal, so the deal just costs money and space instead of representing any true savings.
Well, and online shopping has caused an explosion of growth in excess shopping. I'm thinking about that one particular client of yours who just could not resist and had Amazon boxes coming, sometimes 2 or 3 things a day.
Nonstop.
And to the point where you actually had to employ your helper in the business of returning things that didn't work, didn't fit, didn't look quite the way they
expected it
looked
to.
online.
Yeah, and spending money. So she was spending money online. The thing would come, we would open the package, she wouldn't like it, and then she would spend money for me to help her get the package ready, or for someone else to come and help her get the package ready, and then pay that person to go back to the store, or go to take it where it was okay to return the Amazon stuff. And it was a lot of money on the back end after the front end of, oh, this is on sale and it looks good, click. This is how Amazon has negatively affected our life. Sure.
Anya shared, she says, I have a cartoon that shows a department store display with a sign that says, sale, save up to 100% when you don't buy anything. And what that reminds me of is, in response to some grocery store chains doing double coupons or triple coupons, or double coupon day and things like that to try and drive traffic at low traffic times or whatever.
Yeah.
Some grocery stores went another way and said, we're not doing any of that, but you're saving by shopping here routinely on everything. And so H-E-B in Houston would do this thing where they'd get to the end of tallying your order and they'd say, you saved $8.23. And I always wanted to say, versus what, as opposed to staying home and not shopping? I don't think so.
I think I'm still giving you money at the end of the shopping trip. So another word about money, spending money you don't have to buy things while they're on sale is a fast way to end up really deep in debt. If you save 15% on the purchase and then end up carrying a credit card balance, which is charging 19%, 20%, 25% interest, you really haven't saved any money. And I know that lots of people whip out the credit card to buy the bargain. And so you have to think about the ultimate consequences of whatever that purchase is, because it's not going to just be that you walked out the store with a bargain. That 1 minute of thrill is going to be followed by 8 months of repaying the debt. You really don't want to go there.
Deborah points out a lot of the coupons are indulging what she calls the SAD, Standard American Diet, which includes a lot of processed food.
And that processed food is stuff that is, stored on the shelf, has a long shelf life, and it encourages the idea that, oh, it doesn't matter if I have 15 of these things. I'll just find a place to stash them.
Anya says she uses that cartoon as a reminder to think twice about buying anything and bringing it into the house.
Yeah.
We should also talk about, Costco, where it's not about coupons or sale prices, but about bulk and encouraging you to
savings by bulk buying.
Save that way. And sometimes it's a savings. I can think of particular things, but you have to be kind of deliberate and know the prices of the things you're buying. So when my sister and brother-in-law make a Costco run, I'll ask them to get me a carton of diced tomatoes, which are something I will always use, and they are actually cheaper than at the grocery store, and they have a shelf life of years. But there are things that are not even any cheaper at Costco.
Yeah, you just are buying more of them at once.
And the part of the reality of Costco is they make most of their money on your membership fee. And on the membership fees of people who sign up and then don't go there enough times to recoup the cost of their membership fee.
Right.
So it's kind of something to keep in mind.
Well, and ultimately, anybody that bargain hunts, anybody that is trying to use coupons, anybody that is triggered by the for sale sign, I'm getting a deal, and they tell themselves I'm getting a deal. I only need one of these, but I'm going to buy 3 because if you buy 3, then you get a deal. Anybody that is triggered by those things ends up with more stuff at home than they need, trying to find a place to put it. So all of the bargains come with, they need storage space in the house. They need some place for it to go. And if you go and stash it in places that you don't have, or, you know, it goes under the bed, or it goes in a closet, or it goes in a closet not in the kitchen, it goes in a closet down the hall, you invariably end up forgetting what you have, not being able to find what you have, not remembering that you bought 12 of those on sale, and you, because it was such a huge clump of them, you went and put all those shampoo bottles in a place where you don't normally store that kind of stuff, and then you forget it's there, and you run out of shampoo, and you go buy another shampoo. You forget that you've got it. And so there's a momentary thrill that happens when you find a bargain and you get all excited about you're getting a deal. But if that's the only piece of the process that you live for, is the thrill of the hunt and a successful bargain, then I know that you have all kinds of little squirreled shopping bags full of things that you bought that were only important because they were a deal. And the minute you got in the car, you forgot about them already, and you took them home and stuffed them in a corner. And I will be digging them out when I go into your house. I will be finding them and digging them out. And you have no idea how many times I've gone into a closet and I'm pulling things off the floor, and I pull out a shopping bag and it's like, what's in here? What's this? And I pull the contents out, and they're like, oh, I forgot that I bought that. Oh, yeah, I bought that. And I pull out the receipt, and the receipt is 2 years old or 3 years old, and it's been in there for forever. So that between the time that they were in the store and they got it home and parked it in the closet, they immediately forgot about it. And 3 years went by before, and they're wondering why their closet's full, and I'm digging it out 3 years later. Yes, it's still shampoo. Yes, it's still usable. But if you are buying so much that you can't even keep track of what you have, then it's never going to get used. It's just going to sit in the corner and die. The worst one was somebody bought onions, of all things, and they bought some kind of big bag of onions because it was on sale, and it was in a grocery bag, and it was heavy. So they brought it in and they put it in the bottom of the pantry, and then they started putting stuff in front of it. And so the grocery bag with the onions in it got shoved to the back of the pantry.
Yikes.
And then it's, several months later, it started to smell really bad, and I was in there trying to figure out why, and I started pulling things out, and out comes this grocery bag, and it's like, oh my God. So, of course they had died in there, but that it was onions, for God's sakes. I mean, onions are not expensive. It was a bag. What's the point of buying a bag of onions on sale if you're not going to use onions, and you're just going to park them and let them become a science experiment in the bottom of the pantry? You have to recognize that the store's tricks to convince you that you need to take it home, their ultimate goal has nothing to do with whether you actually need it or want it or can use it. Their ultimate goal is to get the inventory out of the store and into your car. And that's all they care about. And so you're going to end up with a whole bunch of stuff at home that you're going to throw out, you're going to pay me to throw out, you're going to pay me to donate. You're going to find it 10 years later and go, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. It's going to be a black hole in your house. And you have to imagine, when you're looking at that bargain sign and that sale sign, once I bring it home, am I going to want to keep up with it? Do I have a place to park it? Am I going to be able to use it in the next month? And if the answer is no, because you already have 12 shampoos at home, then don't buy the shampoo. And you go to the pharmacy, the grocery store, and they've figured out that they should give you coupons for the things that you buy repeatedly. And so you start getting coupons for shampoo, and it encourages you to go and use the coupon to buy another shampoo. But if you already have 17 months of shampoo in the house, you can probably give it up and wait for the next coupon.
Well, and part of what they're doing there too is they are leveraging your
interest,
weak will.
Mm-hmm.
You may ordinarily buy the ice cream only every third or fourth trip, but they know that if they give you a coupon for it, they're gonna tweak your desire for that and maybe wear you down to buy it at a time when you weren't going to buy it otherwise. They
Yeah,
know
buy it
that,
more frequently,
yeah,
more
they know
often.
you're already interested.
You're already into that ice cream flavor, like
Yeah,
we all are.
right. Sandra, who's watching on Facebook, says, I have
Hi,
ADD.
Sandra.
I have ADD and just regular couponing was too stressful. And I understand that. My issue is more, I have a little tendency toward the obsessive compulsive. And so I had to have the coupon organizer and put them in order and constantly sort through and worry about whether I had expired ones and worry about when they were going to expire. And I finally decided too much trouble.
Making me crazy,
Making me
right?
crazy. I'd rather not get the bargain. I'd rather not save the money and have the peace of mind of just going to the store and buying what I need. And
And it is a big collector thing,
Yeah.
like there's some amount of, I think that a lot of the extreme couponers on the television show it was their thing to collect. The food that they got for practically nothing, they went through all that process because what made them happy was the huge room stockpile full of food. Like they really liked having the ever-growing, ever dense collection. That was what made them happy. And in the same vein that we were talking about last week about building collections and at what point does the collection take over your life, for these people the collection was the goal, and the bigger collection the safer they felt against I guess the apocalypse that was supposed to be coming any minute. And they were building the stockpile was the purpose of the couponing. And if you were wanting to collect something like this, if you're somebody that buys it to give it away to a food bank or buys it so that you can give it to a relative, or you're buying bargains because you're not going to keep it all, you're going to give some of it away, that's one thing that it's going to pass through you on the way somewhere else. But most of us shop with some idea like that, but without much of a plan. And so then the things, I'm going to buy this for my daughter, I'm going to buy this for my grandson, I'm going to buy this for the church, and it comes in the house and it still never gets to the final destination. And so if you can talk yourself out of bargain shopping for yourself, but then you are again taken in because you think you're going to do it on somebody else's behalf, you better have a plan. You better have a plan for that stuff to actually get to the person you're talking about. And the person that you are thinking of better have agreed that they want the stuff that you're bringing, because if you become the relative who delivers unsolicited purchases to somebody's house, they will not like you. After all, they will be mad at you. So keep that in mind. Lots of grandmas use the advent of grandchildren to give them an excuse to start shopping with abandon again. And all you're really doing is making the parents of the children really mad.
Deborah put out a call asking, any European listeners and viewers who are with us right now, whether it's the same issue in Europe. And I'm interested to hear answers to that, because I don't know to what extent this is kind of culturally driven. Jessica on Facebook says, coupons make me feel worse because they expire. Then I feel like I'm missing out. I had to change my thinking to there's always another sale.
It's always another sale is 100% right. I mean, this is part of you know that if once you live long enough, I have so many things to say about this. Once you live long enough, you have lived through enough annual sales cycles that you know they're going to put this on sale in this month, and they're going to put this on sale in that month, and they're going to put this on sale in that month, and it will come around again. And those green beans that are on sale right now will be on sale 3 weeks from now or 2 months from now or whatever. There is no last one standing. It's just not real. And any product that regularly sells itself has a whole team of people who are making new sale ads every week, right? And so you have to recognize that that sense of urgency that they're creating this week is absolutely a fallacy. It is not real. And it is not going to be the last time you can get that particular thing on sale. And, you know, if it's not available when you need it, you can wait a few weeks and there it'll be. So that pressure is artificial.
Lorraine shared, I am always buying wrapping paper after Christmas because it's on sale.
Stop.
So 1 year I stopped because I had 78 rolls of Christmas paper.
Right. And, you know, the store creates the idea that here's what you do after Christmas. You start buying the, you know, on sale bargains that help us get rid of our excess inventory by taking it home because it's on sale. And right. And you still have rolls. Exactly. When my mother, one Christmas, I went out to my mother's house and we had pulled out all of the wrapping stuff in because I would wrap at her house so I wouldn't have to travel with wrapped packages. And I would pull out all the Christmas wrapping and she would have been wrapping for weeks before I got there. And there was this huge container that had all this, I mean, it was unbelievable. And I was like, Mother, you can't buy any more. We have to use what you have. You have plenty. You cannot buy another roll. And so for 3 Christmases before she died, we only wrapped with what she had, and it looked like we never made a dent. Like, you cannot imagine the excess Christmas that happens at the Goddard household every year. It's quite shocking, frankly. And we never ran out. And it was like, you've got to be kidding. How can we have not made a dent in this wrapping paper? And then when she passed away, Leisha and I were like, oh my God, now we have to take this wrapping paper to our house. And so the box is at my sister's house and we're still using Mother's wrapping paper, and we have now for the 5 years since she passed away. And so it's just because it's a habit doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because the store says you have to do it doesn't mean you have to do it. It's not, it's all because they want you to take something home that you don't need. In order for them to make money, you have to buy more than it makes sense to buy. And this is how they get you. They create this, oh my God, it's a sale. And your life is going to be ruined if you don't get this bargain right this minute. And I remember having a conversation with the mother of a friend of mine one time, and she was very proudly wearing this jacket that she had gotten, and she was like, I got it for $9. It was on sale with the clearance in it, and she made this long list of chained events that meant that she paid $9 for this jacket. And I'm thinking, and how many jackets do you have at home right now? For her, it was just the bargain. And she took home something that she didn't need to have, and here's her jacket, and yes, it was lovely, and you have 37 more in your closet right now. What was the point? The store just wants you to buy more. That's the point. They want you to buy with no connection to what you need or use or your family needs or uses. They just want the inventory to go out the door because some stockholders want to make money. And so, at the very least, you can tell yourself, I don't need to buy this to make some stockholder more money. Maybe that's how you do it. It's like, I'm going to keep my money and let the stockholder make money some other way.
Yeah. A different Lorraine who is with us on Facebook says she asks herself, would I have bought this anyway? Before you buy something because it's on sale or there's a coupon, ask yourself, would I have bought this?
And that's why I think you should stop before you go to the checkout counter in whatever store that you are and look at your stuff again. Like, just take a beat, take a pause. And if you're standing there with a cart full of stuff and you intended to buy 3 things when you went in the store and you have 37 things in the cart, or you went looking because you needed a new pair of pants for work and you now have 15 hanging pieces of clothing over your arm headed for the checkout counter, you may want to ask yourself, does my budget really have room for this? Is this really a purchase that makes sense right now? It's not the last time you're going to see black pants on sale. It's not the last time. You may not see this shirt in this particular fabric, but there will be other shirts in the future of your life. Like, I promise, fashion is not going away. And so you will be able to buy other cute clothes another time. Give yourself that 3-minute, 5-minute pause and look at the stuff and go, really? Do I really need all of these things? Do I really need 15 of these? Can I get by with 2? If you take a minute to breathe and look at the stuff and go, yeah, I was reading the sign and it says sale and I have a discount and coupon and la, and all of that has triggered me to buy, you might be able to talk yourself back down off the ledge and maybe save yourself some money by not spending it instead of by using a coupon. Just my thoughts.
In answer to our question about differences in Europe, Anya said, I think in Europe we have some sale incentives, but not that bad. And Sandy said, we rarely get coupons in the UK, but have loyalty cards. So we're encouraged to use particular stores to get points. And sometimes those points can be used for other things, not just in the store. Sandy also mentioned she found that it was worthwhile paying for Amazon Prime rather than buying unnecessary stuff to avoid paying shipping charges.
Right. Oh, so like padding the total so you get to the free shipping part.
Yeah.
Which is another trick to get you to buy more.
Yeah, exactly. And I well, we talked about my 1815 habit.
Oh, right. The
dinnerware.
The dinnerware that you buy, yes.
And Replacements, which carries it and is always collecting stuff, so I check it from time to time. They give you free shipping, but you have to buy $99. And I wish I could tell someone there, you're going to have to do better than that, because I have no trouble resisting spending $99.
Right.
$99
is a lot of dinnerware.
Forget about it. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I think Amazon Prime, I had it for a while, but I'm not super, I don't want to get too political here, but I'm not super enchanted with the way Amazon treats their employees. And the price of Prime has gone up to the point where I have felt less and less like spending that money. And so we dropped our Amazon Prime a while ago.
Well, and I guess it depends on how much you order online, right? Like if you order a few packages a year or, one a month or something, then maybe it's not worth it. And if you're ordering 4 times a day, then maybe it seems more worth it. And we have to ask ourselves why we're ordering 4 times a day. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
This is a topic about, shopping habit and shopping triggers and purchasing and coupons and bargain hunting is something that the people that are into it find it very, very entertaining. It is fun for them and there's a thrill to it. And I think the trick is, we've talked about doing this where you put it in the cart so that you own it for a minute and then you drive around the store and then you take it back out of the cart and walk away from it. Like, you let it not come home with you after all. Because finding another way to entertain yourself besides adding stuff to the house, getting that thrill with bargain hunting requires you to go shopping, first of all, to trigger it. You have to be in a store or you have to be shopping online or whatever, and you have to hit the buy button to get the thrill. But there's a consequence of that, which is then products start showing up at your house. And if you don't have room for that stuff, the bargain just becomes a problem on the back end. And I have other clients who I spend a whole bunch of my time clearing out the packaging from the shipments that have come to the house. And it's a constant stream of cardboard that I have to shovel out of their house because they've been shopping online and they get deliveries every day, and it's nonstop cardboard box problem. And they don't want to keep up with it, and so they pay me to keep up with it. So they're getting a bargain and they're having all this stuff come to the house, but then they're paying me to take the box away and to deal with the box and get it in recycling and break it down and throw out the stuffing and, you know, blah blah blah, and to try to reclaim the space where all the cardboard boxes are sitting. And if you don't keep up with that stuff, you can be looking like a, you know, back room of a store really quickly with all the cardboard you have in your house. So that minute of bargain hunting and that thrill of the chase and getting the deal is quickly overshadowed by all of the burden that comes when you bring the stuff home. And whether it's sitting in a bag in the corner or whether it's a closet that's too stuffed with clothes, it's a big pile that you're going to have to manage on the back end. And a lot of us chase the bargain and don't manage the pile, and then you end up, for your momentary thrill, you end up with a long-term chronic issue at home that compromises your living space.
Wolf on Facebook said
Hi, Wolf.
it depends what you use. Talking about Amazon Prime, now you also get the Prime streaming service with it, and they're adding other services rolled into your Prime membership. But you know, that's really kind of another trick there. As people become savvy about, you know, well, it's not worth this much to me because I only use it this many times a year. Well, we're going to throw in this, and then we're going to crank up the price, and then we're going to throw in this, and so, you know, part of the calculation you have to make is, what is your time worth?
Yeah.
And having been self-employed for about 20 years now, I have an actual dollar amount that I put on my time. And so I frequently say, not worth it to me. I'm not going to chase down $5 savings on something. I'm going to use a retailer who I like, a local store if I can, a store that has a good track record on its ethics and sustainability initiatives and things like that, you know.
Yeah, making choices for something other than the bargain.
And here's another great one from Jessica. I only shop what is on my list.
And that is, oh my God, that requires so much discipline. If you can do that, I am super proud of you, because that is the one that is the Achilles heel for everybody. If you go in with a list and you can stick to that list, you are the master of your universe. Let me just say congratulations to you, because that's the best way to control how you impulse buy. If you go in with a list in advance and you just go looking for this list, then you're hunting for the item on your list. You're not hunting to see what random thing on sale is in the store. And you may go by and see something else, but if you can go with a list in your hand and you go and concentrate on getting that list and then getting out, you will cut down a whole lot on your bargain shopping. 100%. Kudos to you. We're collectively clapping on your behalf for doing that, because that is a big way to win.
Wolf in the Facebook comments also mentioned an article from the Minimalists. And it's short enough. I'm just going to share. I'll share it in the notes on YouTube. But 5 questions to ask before buying, and I'm just going to run through the 5 questions and then link to the article. Can I afford to part with this money?
That's a good one.
Can I pay the actual cost? Remember, the true cost of a thing stretches far beyond the price on the price tag. Will it add value to my life? What are the alternatives? In other words, is this the best use of my money? Can I get by without it for a while?
Good questions.
Yeah, really good things to think about, and I'm going to link to that
to the article.
Yeah.
And let me just say, I love the Minimalist as a reference point about controlling how much stuff you have. I'm not advocating directly that everybody needs to become a minimalist. That's not
Right.
what we're saying here. But the point is to be conscious. And bargain hunting is a very unconscious thing. When you go in shopping and you're just looking for the sale sign and what works and what is going to, oh, look, I didn't know about this when I came in the store, but now I see it and it's 85% off and it's a deal and I'm getting a deal and I'm going to spend that 15% in order to get this thing that I didn't even know existed before I came in the store. That is a very unconscious thing to get the thrill of the deal. And we're just talking about being conscious about how you're shopping and spending your money, and being conscious of all of the consequences of owning what you are now buying and bringing home, and conscious of your own tendencies. If you tend to be ADD and you forget about stuff, you buy it and bring it home and forget it's there, or you buy really, really rapidly and you can't possibly use it all and you're stashing it and you forget it's there. If you have tendencies to lose track of what you've bought once it gets home for whatever reason, then being conscious that if you buy it in the store now, it's going to go home and end up in the sea of stuff that you don't know it's there, makes it much more important to decide, do I really need to add to that sea? Do I really need to put another thing in the pile? Trying to filter your purchases through not just a moment of bargain hunting, but the ultimate storage process.
We're running out of time. I'm going to ask for your final thoughts, but I want to announce our schedule of upcoming topics. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, August 4th at noon U.S. Central Time, and we're going to be talking about the rose-colored mirror, clutter in the quest for style. On August 11th, we'll talk about crafts, hobbies, and sports. Get out of what you're no longer into. August 18th, our topic will be escaping the stacks, a saner approach to books and magazines. And on August 25th, the topic will be scanners and smartphones and clouds. Can you really go paperless? Okay, Gail,
Yeah.
what are your final thoughts on bargain hunting?
So most of us live somewhere on a spectrum of bargain shopping tendencies. Some spend hours trying to use coupons to the best advantage, creating stockpiles of stuff that may or may not fit their space. Others shop with bargains in mind, but end up living in a sea of shopping bags and unused stuff. If you end up paying an organizer to dig you out, it certainly wipes out any savings from those purchases. I think a better game to play is this: to continually balance bargain shopping with your actual need and space limitations. A true samurai shopper finds bargains as they need the items, creating a reasonable supply that is in tune with the actual use and available storage space. We're aiming for the sweet spot of getting what you want and will use at good prices while using a minimal amount of your home storage. That's the smart shopper's bullseye that we want you to aim for.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love for you to join us live. To get notifications about upcoming events, please join the meetup group by visiting cfhou.com/meetup. You can also follow us on Facebook by going to cfhou.com/Facebook, or subscribe to our mailing list by visiting cfhou.com/subscribe. We love to hear from you, so please send us your questions and topic suggestions in the YouTube comments. And you can always reach us through our website at clutterfairyhouston.com.
Thanks everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. And we hope you got something out of the topic today, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.